Why is the speed so fast? Haha, there are a lot of tricks. Slowly, you will understand. Unconsciously smiling mystically. Probably not even explained. For a long time he suddenly said seriously. As I observed earlier. Everyone's expression is very good. Elder Snow and Elder Sheep. Very alert. The old man is only the apex of heaven. At noon, the gods didn't find out. There was nothing. But what? He works in the knitting lab, and he's still very diligent. Just that. Please let the four little demons you sow. I told you to watch the battle. Do you play or play yourself? Tell me how Lao Tzu should send you. Arbitrarily leave the position. The body cannot shake. For people looked at each other unconsciously. How could they have suspected? Probably there's this kind of trick. You can see their actions again. While in retreat. Look at your movement. They knew they wanted to use blood. Cry no tears. The devil hurried to cry, please don't. Just don't punish them with silkworm blood. We are also willing to accept. Or you can beat us up. Unconsciously raised eyebrows. Probably the coldest laugh out loud. You feel me beating you, no pain, no itching. You must not do what you say. The old man can beat you. You feel you hit with your left hand. Or hit you with your right hand. Ha ha ha. Just don't use human blood at will. The killer devil heard that and laughed out loud. Refused to comment. Put on your hand. I can't help but laugh for an hour. The best of the world, with his left hand, whispered. Then use your left hand. To avoid beating you to death. I have wasted 5 years of rice feeding you. Most likely, my eyes widened in a loud voice. The arm changes. A dragon's roar echoed forth. The strongest eyes are getting colder and colder. Suddenly, the photometer erupts. In the horror of everyone's eyes gradually turned large. Then take a picture in front of Long Trow. The ground in front of me was scratched. When I saw this, the devil was afraid. Most likely laughing for an hour. Look at the four speakers. Lao Tzu merged with the dragon's soul land. Please be patient. The 4 of you came out first. Let him fight a battle. Adopted 378 when licking. The devil saw this, and was afraid. I was struck by such a book. There will be no life left to live. It's like very fast. The devil immediately turned the probe, said. Track the butler. This place is too good for you. I just didn't know it was the left hand. Or both hands can animate. Only the left hand. Probably the most undisguised smiling mouth. These demons want to overcome his dreams. Hear this word. The devil is restless and restless, then huddled in one place with the other 3 demons. Finally laughing out loud. Right now, the devil suddenly turned towards the most evil. Track the butler. You didn't have to say. Let us choose which hand to bear the blows of Sao. Maybe you won't keep your word. Of course, it's not just that you say, every hand. Softly stroking his chin most firmly mocking said. So, I decided to punish you with my left hand. We've changed our minds now. We chose to take a blow from your right hand. The killer points to the right arm. Of the most ridiculous. Tia laughed in her eyes. I look at my right arm. Shake your head frowning. This is not good. What's not good? The butler is the head of a house. Top 9 languages. I can't do that kind of thing. I can't keep my word. If not, you can dress them later. Most likely, the devil hurried to speak. Glancing at him. Most probably I can't help but laugh. You can learn how to encourage them too. Then, according to your will, I use my right hand. Just set out. The 4 immediately shouted for joy. The cowardly devil can't hold up his thumb to flatter. The tiger is old. The real unique eye. Of course, if not, why should I be the boss? His arm just grew out. Even if you can't practice, you must be very weak. The devil nodded proudly. The devil saw this scene. A little discontented. Go next to the devil cowardly angry say. This monkey idea is what I thought. Even if you flatter me. The devil comes directly to the front. Cowardly devil yells loudly. The monkey is the old man. There's no Lao Tzu who can think of this magic trick. Monkey, this is clearly what I discovered. Based on where you get paid. The devil is indignant and yells loudly. Finally a fight. They continue to fight. See this scene. He couldn't help but shake his head. These 4 demons really want to be beaten. Maybe that fast. We forgot it. Soundtrack angry butler. Why punish them? As predicted. See this scene. The worst face immediately sank. The 2 eyes gave out the idea. He looked at the 4 of you coldly and said, the 4 of you. Are you ready to take this one blow? The 4 demons are still the same as before. I didn't forget to tease him. No one beats you. No matter how much power they have. I'm sure you heard the mockery in this. I was so angry that I laughed ha ha ha. You are so generous. How many rights are there? Let them try a right first. The voice has ended. Most likely, the eyes suddenly condense around the body. Scatter out close to a right around the unicorn. It's like a spinning gladiator. The right hand of the worst. Suddenly there's a deep red light. Then turn big and carry the atmosphere towards the 4 demons. The 4 demons feel the power of the Khan. Suddenly the gas stagnates. After having no self-control in a hurry to bow down. This one right hit into nothingness. It created an explosion. The scene behind in the blink of an eye becomes desolate. See this scene. The 4 demons were in a cold sweat. In the silent terror. I thought the newborn right hand was his weakness. I can't believe the right hand is so much worse than the left. Say it out. Do these 2 hands count as human hands? I'm sure most people will see this scene. Only after the statue. It can give off real power. Of the unicorn pulse. But not the whole thing. It's probably restricted by his vi. However, it is enough in this area. Moreover, The left hand is the land of the dragon. The right hand is a unicorn saint. 2 animal arms on you. It is a difficult world. Think about here. The most obvious is a devilish smile waving his hand. You can have as many rights as your forenames say. How about an extra power? No, no, no. The butler is cool. We don't dare mess with people anymore. Or use your blood to punish us. Take a blow from someone. We're going to turn into a pile of meat. You don't want to waste 5 years of food. Of the lost, right? The 4 demons hurriedly stamped their heads, tears in my eyes begging for forgiveness. Most likely, a cold laugh, a cold nod. Ha ha ha. Your 4 names are getting better and better at asking for forgiveness. I will forgive you this time. But you remember for me. The next time I'm in charge, I will not forgive you. Don't worry, the butlers won't show up. When the 4 demons heard this, they shook their heads. A noisy battle passes, most likely the most satisfied nod. Then turn to the far side and say, very well. Now I go to the imperial capital to meet their great lady. Everyone has the right to take orders together. Even a normal deadbook ghost. No matter what the hour is, listen to it. Another aspect of the imperial capital. Outside of the city. There are hundreds of soldiers on guard outside. People see this. I can't avoid a whisper. What happened? Such a big battle is a rare 100 years. You don't know this either. I heard it's the 8th generation. Oh my god, at least thousands of high-flying masters. This game is not a tiger, it is the 7 heavens. A family of 3 saved, to become the 8th emperor. On par with the 7 kingdoms. Even confirmed by Emperor 7, Mom, it's really good. Right now a tiny teenage body. He came from behind Chun. Choose a good place. There is no sweat on the face. There's another teenager in the back. Are constantly babbling. Sir, wait. Pay no attention to the words of the Kier. Teen Front excitedly exclaimed. We're finally out. Not to die quickly. Go home, or you will be punished. Chun also came by his side. Unsightly face pleading to say. Unconsciously frown. Kier teenager revealed a witty smile, said the patroness. Death has been in the house for so many years. It was very difficult to run out without playing for 2 days. Is it easy to come back? More. This time, the emperor opened the 8th dynasty. It's a rare 1,000 years. Last time the Book of 7. It's also a new concept. I want to see something today. So that the 8 worlds in the legend are finally good. 379 Imperial Capital Festival. The letter heard this. His face was about to cry out. If you play for a couple of hours, go home. If not for your shallow personality. If anything happens, we can't afford it. Slap mouth in eyes, chastised Dongwon. Teen tapping on head. He was angry and dared to speak. Death is not right. See why I hit you. Do then you still follow me and beat me. If something happens to you, even life doesn't have you. Teenager Kier suddenly glowed. He was angry that he couldn't say the right words. There's a loud scream right now. Send it to your ears, Your Highness. Just finished with a team of soldiers. Slowly appear in everyone's eyes. In a central location, there's also an extremely luxurious palanquin. Wait until it stops. In step out a teen weak making. On the body wearing royal jewels. Around the body radiates a gracious atmosphere. The kid just saw this guy. Immediately lower your head. And then he pulled the letter into the crowd. It is the CA. Don't let him find us. The prince turned forward and suddenly stopped. Then turned towards the people bowing to the ceremony. The great kings of Ra have not yet come. The gate is not open. Let's wait here for the cold wind to blow. I'm really sorry. I'm sorry, everyone. The Prince of Kier immediately bent down. Bow your head, sorry. See this scene. People are afraid to rush back, but also constantly whispering loudly. The body in a high position is not proud of the sergeant. It will definitely be the military later. That's right now. Behind the back came a teasing sound, ha ha ha. They are pretending to buy into the sow. This word just came out. Everyone immediately turned their heads. I want to see who opens their mouth. Prying at Crown Prince Thien Vu. But it appears in everyone's eyes. A person with 7 parts. Like the prince. Eyes are much more tonal. People can't help but tremble in their hearts. These are the 2 princes. Brother of Prince Vu Van Uncle. Vu Van Dung. Watch him come. The prince was a little angry on the face. Take a deep breath and tell me what these 2 words mean. The celestial families of Qi gathered in the imperial capital. I was invited by King 7. Standing in the cold wind, unable to enter. The prince is the prince. Should not express interest in the meditators. Dance Sao. They make it look like they're invited, and they deserve it. Despise the lips. Vu Van Dung is cold. Looking at people is like looking at ants. Shout out loud, CA. Such a weak person. He became the king of a nation. The 2 of you look at my people like that. It cannot be like the military. See them as you. Maybe you need to love the people. Maybe this is the reason. His father inherited the position of Prince Cho. The prince let out a loud sigh of anger. But to hear this word, dance dance show to, is not co. He glanced at the prince. Liver voice. Vu Van, you can't be there to make water with Lao Tzu. Talk about wisdom. Talk about tricks. What is the point about Vi that I am not equal to you? You weren't born earlier than me. A year and a half. Occupy the position of the elder, obeying the organization. Established, not established. To get this crown prince position, Sao. If not, you have the talent to inherit the presidency. Take a deep look at him. Vu Van Uncle awkwardly copped his mouth, reluctantly sighed. On the face shows pain too. You guys always have this point. That's why from small to big. Always hostile to me. But we have a way. Such a destiny. We can't change the organization we set up. If I really hope, you can use this crown prince seal in exchange for our friendship. Fake fake love fake. The world does not want to be emperor. Even the emperor. It's been quietly operating for hundreds of years. Who brought the duck to the hand? Give to others, Sao. Unconsciously laughing cold, Vu Van Dung pouted his lips, contemptuously saying something. I don't need you to give up either. The thing of the prince. The prince will surely take it back. Unconsciously frowned softly. Vu Van looked at him one by one. With a sigh, the doctor shook his head. Displays the lost ray. Right now. It's a happy sound coming into everyone's ears. I haven't seen you in a long time. And then all of a sudden, everyone felt it. The ground suddenly trembled. Soon after, a big fat body. On the face, a bright smile appeared on everyone's face. These people are the three princes of God. The two princes looked at the man who had just appeared. Faced him must not rise rays of disgust. Open your mouth and say you deserve to die. That pig's head. You don't have to leave the capital to work. Why are you back? Ha ha ha. I should have done my job and called the king back. The book is so important to 8 families. The 3 brothers are princes. If you are not present, you can't control anything. Prince Vu Van said with a smile. Then turned to Vu Van Thong welcomed the 3 brothers. Welcome back. Great CAA shout of joy. Vu Van on the one hand excitedly rushed to. I want to embrace the prince. It's just in the blink of an eye. At the prince's feet to the waves of vibrations. His face immediately twisted. Your Highness the Crown Prince. The staff saw that and rushed in. In the fear of screaming. No, no, Sao. Prince Vu Van Dung has difficulty breathing. Put your hands up and throw up. Say Sao, we are also high 9 core trick Sao can. Maybe even my brother can't hold it. Again a crunching sound echoed. The prince's face was suddenly white. The corners of my mouth trembled. He looked up at Vu Van Thong. You've been heavy lately, haven't you? Slowly, Vu Van calmly said, I lost 750 pounds last month. 800 pounds this month. 50 pounds is much better than before. It's probably because the roads have been rough lately. That's why it's increasing slowly. This word just came out. Everyone immediately complained. The look on Vu Van Thong is a bit strange. These 3 princes are really weird. Some people gain weight to such an extent. The prince was crying and laughing. There's a little plea. Can the 3 of you come down first? Big brother Sao. Looking at Prince Vu Van, incomprehensible question. The prince looked like he was about to cry. Broken back. Vu Van Thong was a little shy to split up. Looking at Vu Van Dung, he smiled innocently. At this moment, everyone is suddenly screaming. Let's see if you Min's people are here. Everyone following the scream turned their heads to look. I can only see that there's a slow rise of Team 5. Yu Wan Sun led the way. Next to him was a young man. Cold eyes. Is the current advisor of Yu Min Cup Yu Min? In the back, there are fake people. Let others not shake. The 4 great bowls of Yu Min Cup. All have the power to divine the master scene. There are 5 of them. But that year in the Battle of Feng Lin, he was killed by the worst. Currently there are only 4. That's why I hate paint so much. It cost them 7 so much. I have not seen the owner for a long time. The prince came from the opposite side. Towards Yuanshan. Defaulting 380 Imperial Capital Festival to Yuan-sun eyebrow. Look at the gates of the royal city. 9 courses. It's 9 dragons at the same time as the world gathers and the door is open. The remaining king will be 7 families and death. Then, now there is one more door to get lost. Then we will split up again. Take your eyes off that place. He looked at the prince and bowed his head. He grinned and said, Your Highness, it is morning. You cup holder ba days not met recently is good. At this time, the 2 princes of Fandung also went ahead, arrogantly laughing softly. Hear this word. The smokeless prince looked at him. Yu Wanshan also could not help but cough con dodge. Ha ha ha. Thank you, to princes, for remembering that the cup has been very good lately. The time to open is near. The owner goes to prepare it first. Already said, he hurried in the direction of the city gate to borrow an excuse to leave. Wait until you get to the gate. Yuan-sun just turned his head. He looked at the 2 princes in a low voice. This idiot. There's something wrong with your mind that makes such a bad thing happen. His way of saying earlier, it is not to tell the world that you min cup. We're in league with him. The owner is less angry if he is very smart. It's not safe for us to work with him. It is because he is so unruly that he is easy to control later. The corners of my mouth lift up the sinister curve. I laughed coldly for an hour. He said he wanted to be in front of the prince, to show his strength. Let him go. But as such, the plan we're working on is silent. Will not be exposed, Sao. Can't help frowning. The mountain is still cold. He laughed and shook his head confidently, saying, Don't worry. It will be revealed sooner or later. And back to the present. The rest of the family will soon be on the road. As we must know, once lost, the 8 clans were created. Will form the strongest trigonometry outside the court. It will be very difficult for AI to do anything later. The only way we can break this. It's the struggle for power. Who can control the future emperor? Next day, you can borrow the power of 7 to destroy the other. Finally depose the emperor, the puppet of the world in the palm of the hand. This is the future, you say. He glanced at him and whispered. She smiled softly for an hour. Confidently, yes. Yu Wanshan received the affirmation and fell into meditation. Yu Min's words are right. The 2 princes are unruly, but that can be controlled. What about the prince? It makes people feel like they can't see through. This type of person is the hardest to deal with. This side of the 5 Yumin Cup team just left not long ago. The prince looked at Vu Van Dung and said, Your father soon reminded us. King 7 doesn't get too close to the 7 kingdoms. Let this be. The prince who was the legitimate prince. Of course we have to do it legally. Just wait for the inheritance. But we are different. If there is no certain power to support, I have no right to argue with people about these things. I said I'll get back what I should, ha ha ha. Vu Vandung laughed coldly for an hour. Aggressive, glaring reply. The prince heard this. Suddenly flashed in his eyes. But very quickly it disappeared. No one can feel it. Vu Vanthong now looks towards Vu Vandung, full of resentful oranges. To see this word of yours really nothing. Father's orders. You also dare to do wrong. I will definitely tell my father later. And his words haven't finished yet. Everyone's cry was transmitted to the dragon sand. Then, turn your head and look back. That's right, the leader of the dragon sand. It's the masters. Wade looked at the people. But I didn't pay attention either. Smiling, he rushed to Long, kneeling behind me. You're finally here. Long time no see, remember me? Hey ha ha ha, how have you been lately? Looking at the fat body in front of Long, kneeling. Not from feeling. This guy is fat again. It's not a person. Thinking about it, she looked at him. Speak up coldly. I didn't tell you last time. We already have someone quiet. What are you clinging to me for? You said you must be a brother, right? Haha, he made it clear to me. At that time, I just used him as a bullet point. And after that, I became a brother to him. Your wife can't move. He won't think badly of me. Vu Vanthong licked the corners of his lips and said lies. Take a look at him. Long knelt and laughed again. If I said it was all true, then why? Can't help but be stunned. Vu Van stared at her. Only in her eyes. No ray is a lie. He showed a little compassion. At this moment, everyone's amazing sound moved again too. The other nations have come. Lifting according to the overbearing voice of everyone, he came down 7 times a day to the sword. HOA long dance medicinal remedy. Hentai lamb. They all brought the bow in front of everyone. Vu Vanthong looked at the position of the 7 families presented raw. Not out of reluctance, I lamented. In other countries, there are 4 gods. There are only 3 people dancing for a long time. It's a little bit worse. So in 7 families, they always suffer, but the rest of the family despises. It's not too surprising. Not long after, the sound of screams echoed again. This time it is the cause. People are waiting the most in the imperial capital today. Look, the lost are here. Just for a moment, everyone's eyes were on that place. Although in the 100 paintings so many families, I have seen the spirit of the lost. But there are many people who want to look. Family 1 step up to the clouds, and how powerful is this legend, after all? But Chun stepped into the world. Become the 8th family. In a crowd of teenagers. It has always been a secret. Suddenly I remember someone looking at me. Whispered in his mouth. I heard the butler must be super handsome. Who are you? Every sound of footsteps echoing. Getting lost slowly. Led by 2 billion Van High hermits. Delegate for the homeless. There is a leader in the back. Drag the Vu family and the teenagers' core strength. After all, it's the magic. And pull the tie drill forward. Look through this force of the lost. It's a lot worse than 7. I'm not talking about magic. Even ordinary disciples cannot compare with the 7 families. The two princes of Vu Van Dung looked at the sparse crowd. Go slowly. A look of contempt laughed and said yes. Alone individually. Maybe this is the eighth. Relying only on a master's peak. Try to hold on. Can only reluctantly chun to take down the Cao family. To CA words cannot say so. Even though Cao was lost before. Family 3 save, in 15 short years developed to such an achievement. Was a miracle. What else do you want? At this point, Vu Van Thong is back next to the two of you. To speak out against. The prince nodded. But once again, you three are right. But it's kind of freakish to grow like that. Vu Van Dung laughed coldly and said, this world has only one God's will. If there is a struggle, just hold this master of magic. The rest are not fish on the chopping board. Wearing people to drink Cao. That as compared to other families. It is easier to destroy the tribe. This family oppressed some of the world's most often still. But it's still a little early to get into the family. Vu Van turned his eyes to the people. Step by step closer. Take a deep breath and say. This kind of thing. It doesn't seem like the kind of thing we should be worried about. It's the kid that should worry about. I mean sure. Unconsciously frown. The prince seemed interested in laughing. Ha ha ha. What kind of person is he after all? Adopting 381 stressful situations. The prince laughed again. To praise people for sure. I soon heard about it. Is a miracle. Nothing less than the sands of the field and impermanent. Look at Team 5 of the strangers. The two princes of Vu Van Dung spoke coldly. I also heard of this person. Since its appearance until now, it made a big change in the sky. Especially the 100 Min paintings. It made his reputation even stronger. Now the lost family can stand shoulder to shoulder with 7 families. It's because there are 2 pillars. Based on the great patriarch. Martial arts based on the elders of the heavenly tiers. He scanned his eyes for suspicion and asked. Who is that mortal after all? That boy didn't come. Vu Van looked through a little, shake his head and laughed. Can't help but startle you to speak up together. What the great dictionary ordains such an important moment. He is the butler who dared not come. The surgeon shrugged his shoulders. Vu Van Thong refused to give an opinion in every way. He is such a man. Always do as you please. He didn't pay attention to the two of them anymore. Lead out, pick up. With the misfits who talk for a while. The prince shouted for a moment. He also raised his feet to the man of the lost family. Only there are 2 princes. Van Dung disdained blue lips. Still standing still. This family grows so strangely. It is definitely not stable later. A family about to break up. He's also lazy to associate. Inside the crowd. The teenager right now, trying to remember the person ahead. Look at the people who are suspicious or asking for advice. Who is sure? Why doesn't everyone look like that? The young man glanced at the boy and shook his head. The lips speak. The man looks white, but not like. Not the same. Listen to your family from outside. The great butler must be the evil god of murder. Your face is twisted. Absolutely not such a white-faced guy. Who watched that boy cringe? If he's really a legend.